Hi everyone, welcome to Hangouts on Air with Creatively Unsettled, and I'm Nidhi, your host for the day. Today we're going to talk about a very interesting topic, which actually stemmed from the shopping preferences of people. Now, when you go shopping, you may end up finding certain products that are made by a community or that are made by a certain set of people and which is owned by a social enterprise, and their price is a little bit higher. You must have come across these terms called ethical clothing, sustainable livelihood, and fair trade. So, fair trade products tend to be priced a little higher, but we as consumers always hesitate to pay that markup. But did you ever think why it is priced higher and what is the reason behind fair trade? Who are the people who actually make these products? So, to talk more about this concept of fair trade, we have with us a very special guest, Mr. Aitha Mallikarjuna, President of Fair Trade Forum of India. Hello, Mr. Malik. Welcome to the forum.
Hi Smita, hi everybody.
Hi. So, Mr. Malik, can you talk about what fair trade is all about?
So fair trade is a global movement where both conscious consumers and conscientious producers got together and created this movement. This is not only about the product, but this is about the consciousness of the processes, the people involved behind it, and the profits that are being shared between the producers. And the fair trade movement is all about valid power, the power of purchase that all the consumers are doing, and how an individual purchase can impact the poorest of the poor in the value chain with the actual producer. So, in that sense, this is the world's biggest and the only movement where conscious consumers got together and created this movement. If we look at the global presence of fair trade, though in Europe, US, and all, fair trade movement is very strong, and we are trying to build this movement in India because the middle class segment now has become very conscious towards all these things. They would like to know where the products are made, who is benefiting, and how much has been shared with the producers. So the 10 principles of fair trade govern this fair trade movement, and we strongly believe that trade not aid is our slogan. Only thing that we need to do is to trade channels which can reduce the poverty, and poorest of the poor can be brought out of the poverty by just giving small orders to them and making them part of the whole value chain.
Okay. Mr. Malik, can you tell us more about the fair trade landscape in India and tell us some statistics to bolster the point?
Yeah, sure. See, fair trade is not a new concept in India. Even Mahatma Gandhi ji, when he talked about village development, this is what he said, that the Bharat lives in villages, and that is where the true development is required. The producers live in all these rural clusters and various artisanal clusters. So it's almost with that Gandhian thought process and also with the global emergence of various movements converge together to form this fair trade movement, like anti-slavery movement, anti-child labor movement, working conditions, the various people have been working, gender rights movement. All of them, they found fair trade as an appropriate channel and approach to get into it. Even in India, also, it's almost 30 years. There are several organizations started working as a pilots, various parts of the country. It started with the 12 organizations starting from various parts of India. Now we have more than 110 patent certified organizations as members of Patent Forum, benefiting more than 4 lakh artisans and farmers in this country and linking them to market channels both in India and abroad. And there are various success stories and case studies emerged out of it. How to actually mobilize, from the rural areas, tribal people, marginalized communities. Even there are particular groups of leprosy affected people with disability, and there are groups which work with transgender. There are groups which work with HIV positive people. And how to organize them and how to coordinate them, how to build their capacity. Several organizations work together, and all these models, when they succeeded, we decided that now this is the time for us to federate ourselves and form into a network, and that is how Federate Forum as a national network has emerged. And today, fair trade forum is the largest fair trade network in the world out of all the 70 different countries.
Okay, okay. Mr. Malik, do you think that fair trade, in the concept of fair trade or a fair trade organization can also be called as a social enterprise? Are they the same?
Yeah, very interesting question. In fact, we did a small research to understand. We were trying to track, as I said, fair trade is nothing but convergence of various social movements. Then we wanted to see that the way that social enterprise landscape is building all over the world, to see the relevance of social enterprise to fair trade concept. And if we look at both the purpose of a social enterprise and the purpose of a fair trade organization, they are very much similar. And the strongest social purpose of any fair trade organization is community empowerment. So, and the fair trade premium, the fair wages, and there are several other things within these fair trade principles, which actually could be a very good scale drivers for any social enterprise. So our research also shown, what we did is we studied various fair trade models in India, along with what we talk about social enterprises, and the way that fair trade journey has happened. There are several organizations who started as non-profit, now converted into social enterprises, having a for-profit arm, and then through their non-profits doing all the community development activities. So in that sense, fair trade could be a very good potential approach for social enterprises to scale up.
Okay, okay, that's great. That's great. So, Mr. Malik, you must have observed the consumer's perception or the consumer's response to fair trade products. What is it like? How do consumers perceive fair trade products and fair trade organizations when they have to choose between the commercial brands and fair trade products?
Yeah. So, as I said, fair trade movement has been built by conscious consumers. Conscious consumerism is core of it. Now,
Okay.
there are two types of consumers. One, those consumers who are aware and socially conscious of the fact that they need to take care of several things when they buy a product. And there are consumers who are conscious but not aware that such movements exist, such projects exist, and how to go about it, where to buy, and things like that. We did consumer studies as part of a European project, out of which a brand has been developed. We call it as Fair Trade India. This is an umbrella brand, and right now we have 40 shops in India in various cities. And the basis of evolution of this brand is consumer aspirations. What we found was, out of these 10 fair trade principles, we went to consumers and we asked them which principles are more important for them. Will they are they willing to buy a little bit? Are they willing to pay a little bit extra if we follow all these principles? And what they would like to see in fair trade. And the interesting scenario is, like, when we compare this with India and Europe. In Europe, the strongest fair trade supporters are mostly of the age bracket of 35 plus age group. So 35 to 70 is the age group. But in India, what we found was, the strongest supporters for fair trade was from 22 years to 35 years. So the younger generation in India has become more conscious and they understand and they would like to support it. So my guess is, even when we went back to schools and seen, and that level of consciousness is pretty high even among the school children. So the next generations to coming by are a potential fair trade supporters, and within the existing consumer range of 35 to 58 group, in India, fair trade as a concept is pretty new. We have seen that 10 to 12% of the people are buying products from NGOs, are buying products to support some of the causes and things like that. So there is a lot of advocacy required when it comes to the consumer segment, and also the brand promotion and availability of the products happens. I'm pretty sure that Indian consumer market is mature enough to support this. The reason being, many of these trade organizations have their shops and sustainably running these shops for several years. Not only they have become profit centers, but also they have scaled up their operations. So the trend that consumers are ready to buy fair trade products.
Okay, great, great. That's really interesting to know. Mr. Malik, what do you think are the challenges that Indian fair trade landscape faces today? I know what are the hindrances that they still need to tackle.
The biggest challenge is to fight with the mainstream players which are there. Even though I should not call them as mainstream players, but the segments, the products like handicrafts, handloom, organic products, uh, there is lack of awareness, and there is lot of players are misusing these norms to get into the market and selling the product. So the actual product, getting that shelf space and making people understand that why a certified product is different from the traceability of the product, ensuring that always I quote this example that if people know that why and how their products are becoming cheaper by making what. For example, if I am wearing a cotton T-shirt, if I know that where this cotton is coming from, who has plugged this cotton, is there child labor involved in it or not to make the product cheaper, and if I know that this has been a product or a cotton plugged by children with a nimble hands and blood is involved into it, as a conscious consumer, I would never would go for it. And rather, I would like to pay a little bit extra and ensure that the child education is ensured and the adults are working in the cotton farm. So this sort of awareness is required, and the convergence of all these movements in India when it comes to policy and advocacy is very, very essential. So as of now, there are several initiatives. People are working in their own way. So presently, we are trying to really build the fair trade movement as an umbrella movement, wherein all of us get together and understand. And second thing is like in Europe and all, as the movement has been built by the consumers themselves. So the true ambassadors for fair trade are the consumers, and we never spend any marketing cost in it because consumers are directly involved in it. So in India, this sort of consumers getting and to build the movement was very, very essential. Till recently, because of most of these patented products are exported, organizations are full with orders, and they never thought of local markets, entering into local markets and seeing the potential of local markets. So that opportunity has been lost. But once this patented brand has been built, now members realize the importance of local markets and consumers in India itself. So I'm sure down the line, 4 to 5 years, patented uh, products and the patented movement is going to be visible in this country. Not only visible, and it is going to create a lot of impact at various fronts.
Correct, correct. Mr. Malik, can you tell us more about Fair Trade Forum of India and the various initiatives that you all carry out?
Yeah. Patriot Forum India is a national network of patriot organizations. The way the patriot movement has been built is we have a global body called WTO, World Patriot Organization, and we have regional bodies like WTO Asia, Latin America, Europe, like that. And then we have national bodies like Patriot Forum India in all the 70 different countries. So all the members, to become a member of Patriot Forum India, any trading organization or any NGO, any cooperative can become vetted for a member by going through a process called entry audit. We ensure that they implement all these vetted principles in their business ecosystem. And once they get to this audit process, they they can become members of it. Once they become members of it, there are a lot of things happen within vetted forum in terms of business intelligence, in terms of building capacity, in terms of design development, in terms of networking, creating leadership among them, and there is various workshops which happen all over India, linkages with the government, corporate gifting, things like that. So these are the major functions that Credit does for the member.
Okay, 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 great. Thank you, Mr. Malik, for your time. Thank you for being with us. Viewers, next, I'm sure this hangout must have been very informative for you. So, next time when you go to buy any products, and if you have a choice between buying an ethical product over a commercial one, I'm sure what choice you would make. So, I urge you all to make a conscious choice. spread the word, and be a part of the movement and help people who really need you here. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us on this call, Mr. Malik. Bye bye. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Thank you so much, Nidhi. Be fair
Thank
and
you.
buy fair. Yes, Smita.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.